So, first question, who are you?
Robert Preston said you're not even a household name in your own household.
It's pretty much true. Somebody else said to me, I've got two chances in this competition, No Hope and Bob Hope. I said,
That's my line.
The old ones are the good ones. Look,
Yeah.
People haven't heard me.
Except you've got to say it a different way. You're supposed to say you've got two hopes, not two chances.
Well, it was Eamon Holmes
work.
I was quoting, and I didn't want to say he got it wrong, but he did clearly get it wrong. Look, the truth is, a lot of people won't have heard me. I've only been an MP for 6 years. But the reason I think I've been chosen by peers to have a go in this contest is they recognise that I've got something to say. They recognise that I'm a conviction politician, if you like, who's got a real clear set of views, and I hope to get that across.
If you're such a conviction politician, can you explain why 6 months ago you told the New Statesman Jeremy's going to lead us into the election? He's the leader of the Labour Party. He said very, very clearly he wants to do that. He won a stonking great majority. Jeremy is going to be taking us into the election in 2020. End of. That was you 6 months ago. What are you doing sitting here now, defying the man with the stonking great majority?
Well, he did win a stonking great majority, there's no doubt about that, and he is very popular with the members. But over the last 6 months, I think lots of us who served Jeremy with not just loyalty to the Labour Party, but a real sense of hope that he was getting the Labour back to being a more radical, traditional Labour government in waiting, have lost faith in him. Have lost faith in his ability to lead us, have lost faith in his ability to take us to an election victory. And we had that massive vote, 172 of our 200 MPs saying we didn't think we could win with Jeremy because we didn't think he was listening to us and we didn't think he was listening much to the country.
Angela Eagle really struggled to give any examples of where she disagreed with Jeremy Corbyn on key policy, right? Other than Trident, and we know where you both sit on that, because he disagrees with almost everybody about that. Give me three things where you disagree with Jeremy Corbyn on key policy which create a point of difference between you and him.
Well, the first thing is I disagree with him about simply sloganising about anti-austerity. It's been a brilliant rallying cry for Labour to say we're an anti-austerity party. But what does it really mean, Piers? Now, for me, it doesn't mean a lot unless you put in place concrete proposals to change it. What are we? Well, in my view, we are pro-prosperity for everybody, and that means you need to put concrete plans on the table, and I've done that. I've said I think Britain's infrastructure, physical, social infrastructure, schools, hospitals, roads, FE colleges, all of that stuff has crumbled for many, many years. We need to invest, so we should borrow. We should have a £200 billion new deal for Britain to rebuild all of that infrastructure. Now, Jeremy has not put a concrete idea like that on the table in the 9 months he's been in post. We also need, I think, to re-pledge the Labour Party to being what people want, which is a party that is going to stand on the side of people against other interests and stand up for them and seek to reduce inequality. So I would rewrite the constitution of the Labour Party. Third thing is I think we've got to put meat on the bones of what we actually mean by an ethical foreign policy. Jeremy's been right about, for example, Chilcot demonstrating that Iraq was the wrong decision for this country. But what are we going to do about it concretely? Let's have a War Powers Act that places constraints on the executive.
Aren't you essentially anti-democratic? Because the fact of the matter is, the membership fully supports the leader of the Labour Party. And the polls currently show that if there is an election, he will still be leader of the Labour Party. You know, if Piers read your quote, he is the democratically elected leader. Why on earth are you part of this plot to get rid of him?
Well, number one, I'm not part of any plot. I mean, I wasn't rung in advance by any of the plotters.
You're definitely trying to get rid of him.
I am trying to get rid of him, but I wasn't planning to try and do that before a couple of weeks ago when I was asked by colleagues.
You didn't have your arm twisted into doing it, did you?
Well, I did a bit, to be honest, Susanna.
Well, you're doing it reluctantly?
No, I came out of hospital having been with my brother for a couple of days. He was very ill in South Wales. My phone lit up with 30, 40, 50 colleagues ringing me saying there is going to be a contest, Angela Eagle is going to stand against Jeremy, and we think you should stand because we think you've got something to say and we think you'd say it with a bit of vim and vigour.
Well, it sounds like you don't want to be leader of the Labour Party.
No, I
You're just doing it because other people want you to do it.
I absolutely want to be leader of the Labour Party because I agree with them that I have got something to say, and that's why I decided to put my name forward. The point I'm making is that Jeremy was elected 9 months ago. I think the country, the Labour Party, has looked at Jeremy, and I think people are now worried that two things are at risk of happening. One is that Under his watch, the Labour Party will split. So great have the divisions grown that we face the prospect of the Labour Party that's been the greatest vehicle for social good in Britain for 100 years, splitting apart and being destroyed. Now, that is not something I can stand by and see happen.
The trouble is, by standing against him, you encourage a split.
No.
By uniting under him, you guarantee the party stays together.
No, I'm afraid that I feel... I mean, I went to see him and I said, look, Jeremy, the party here is in jeopardy. We are going to be destroyed unless you do something. I offered different ways in which he could compromise. I suggested that he became president of the Labour Party and moved aside for somebody else to try and heal the rifts that had emerged. But he is completely intransigent. He's decided that he's going to stick in there, even if it means breaking the Labour Party. And that's something I just cannot sit by and see happen.
I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction. I will do everything I can as Prime Minister to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months. But I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country